Hello, I'm Alford Grant from Television and Radio Techniques. Welcome to our new weekly conversation, and we call this conversation the weekly media training wisdom. And we're delighted, if not thrilled, to have you there with us. It's absolutely awesome. As ever now, this is the place, this is your home, whereby every single week, every Friday, you can get the focus on the tips, the strategies, the tools that can help you make, if not for you, but for your directors and your managers, their media interviews effortless. That's what this is all about every week. So we're here to support you. No more trial and error. No more thinking, I wonder what works. This is a home where you'll find out exactly what to do and how to do it. And then when you implement all the ideas, the end result is that your directors and your managers will fulfill what we call the 3 S's. Which is they'll be strong, resilient and bold. They'll be simpler because it means they'll be straightforward and conversational and expressive in the way they speak their story. And the 3rd S, they'll be strategic. In other words, they'll know exactly what they should say and what they should not say. But the emphasis is what they need to say to deliver messages to your most important audiences. And underlining all of that is a system, because it's the system that can help your people be effortless. Okay, let's move on. And quickly, here is a warning. You see, today's topic came from a director who was on our training course a couple of days ago. Every media course, we begin by asking people one simple question, and it's this. What is your biggest fear or concern about meeting journalists or simply appearing on the media? And it brings forth a humongous number of array of obstacles and challenges and feelings that people have. And one of the directors on this course the other day said, well, look, the last time I did training, and it wasn't 5 years ago, it wasn't 10 years ago, it wasn't even 15 years ago, it was, lordy, 30 years ago. And when he did media training 30 years ago, the world was a very different place. But 30 years ago, he was given some advice. And that advice was simply copy politicians. Well, in today's world, we frankly believe that's not very sound advice. And so today, we're going to go through the good, the bad and the ugly about what might happen if you choose to follow and copy the politicians. So let's dive in and start talking about some of the ugly stuff that could happen. Firstly, if you do it the way that politicians do it, I guarantee you one thing, it will erode trust between you and your clients, your customers and your audience. Why? Because politicians, as you know, they dodge questions. They go around questions. They avoid the questions. And thirdly, they have this nasty habit of sounding a little bit bombastic. They can come across as a little bit arrogant, which actually raises the hackles of the audience. So that's the ugly stuff. Please don't copy that side of things. Let's dive into the bad side. 3 things. They can be incredibly inflexible. They've got a line and they'll stick to it. Do you remember Theresa May? Strong and stable, and strong and stable. Didn't work, did it? So inflexibility doesn't work on the media these days. Politicians are trained to have one message and to say it 10 different ways. 10 different ways. That means they're not really thinking about the audience's concerns. Here's a third one. They have a tendency to be full of hot air, don't they? Or better still, they're full of BS. And do you want your audience to think that you are talking BS all the time? Absolutely not. What would that do to the trust? It will disappear, won't it? So we don't want the ugly and we don't want the bad. So let's show you 1 or 2 things that they do quite well when they're on the media. Let's dive into the good. So the good is And copy this, they've always got a message. Whether you like it or whether you loathe it, they've always got a message, and you should do the same too. That's what going on the media is all about. So have your message and your story uppermost in your mind. They try to make that message relevant. They say phrases like, I think the British people want, or I think what people want to hear today is. So they're trying to connect the message to the audience in some shape or form. But here's a big one. What they do tend to do, better than the average business person, is they add a label. Here's what I mean. They could simply go on the media and say something, do you know, I've got a good idea. But when they say, I've got a good idea, it doesn't hit. There's no pizzazz, there's no spark with the audience. So what they do say, I think this idea will revolutionize transport in the UK. And now it jumps out. It sounds interesting. It sounds invigorating. It sounds exciting. And it means that you want to hear more. And that's right up the alley in the way that journalists think. And that's how they manage to manipulate the media to get their stories across. I would recommend that you do the same. So we avoid the ugly, we avoid the bad, we take away some of the good, but here's what we truly want for you, because we want to go a step up from good. We want you to shoot for excellence. Do you understand? Excellence. Because we want your competitors to be saying, whoa, what is it those people are doing? We want your competitors to feel a sense of envy about you and your directors and managers when they see or hear them speaking. And so we shoot for excellence. So here's what we do. We need that proven method for managing the questions. That's why it's core in our coaching. Manage the questions, because it makes you bulletproof and it allows you to explode with confidence. And remember, today's media, it's all about human-to-human communication. The technology may change, whether it's TV or radio or print or social media, it might change. But the bit that is static and stable is human psychology. So it's all about connecting and engaging with your audience. Third point. In modern communications, it's about being authentic, about being real, about being genuine, about speaking from the heart, not just from the head. It's the head and the heart aligned together. That's what draws your audience into the message that you want them to take away from whatever you say. And lastly, you need a system. It's the system that unearths and injects your people with the power. It's the process that system gives them that gives them that strength, because now they know, follow the steps. All you do is you follow the steps. And when they follow the steps, that is powerful. So don't copy politicians. You don't need to. Simply follow a system that empowers and inspires your people, and then let them get themselves on the media and deliver those messages so they're strong, they're simple, and they're strategic. Okay, more weekly media training wisdom next week. Until then, have a great week. Bye-bye.